And that just brings me people who I love working with.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
We've got our goal. We got what we want out of our quarter, out of our someday, and out of this year. Let's move into the second topic. Choosing strategies that you'll actually do. This is huge because we say everything works. It's whether you do the work. Yes. So this is like everything. Cold calling works. We hate it. Door knocking works. We hate it. Social media works. We love that. There's tons of everything works. Events, they work. Everything works. So
how do you know what to do?
Yeah, and nothing works. So let's dive in.
So strategies to achieve your goals. Here's the number one most important thing about strategies to achieve your goals. Whatever it is, it has to be something you're going to do. That's it. No resistance, something you enjoy, something you're actually going to do, Peter, right?
But Amanda, that just sounds so simple, so easy. That can't be it.
It's simple, but it's not easy. You got to keep yourself accountable, and you've got to take the time. It doesn't take much time, but you've got to take the time to be real honest with yourself about what you're truly going to do and what you're going to find excuses not to do. So you've got to think about what is going to be the path of least resistance, right? For a plane to get off the ground, there's got to be more throttle than there is drag. So get rid of the drag. Figure out the stuff that you don't want to do that's going to push you back, that's going to keep you from doing it, because you're just going to waste your days and then wonder why you don't have any business. So find the stuff you're excited about.
What do you say to an agent that's being pulled in 50 million different directions from their broker when they're like, okay, you can do cold calling, mailers, you can, and they give them this word vomit of all these options.
Yeah.
That's because really, like when I first got licensed, I recall this. It's like, okay, fuck, what do I do next? I got my license.
Yeah. It's so overwhelming.
There's all these options.
Right.
And I know, like, pick one and stick with it. That's totally fine.
There's more to it than that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do I know which one to actually pick? And how do I know I should stick with it? How long I should stick with it?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So my advice is pick no more than 3 things, and ideally 2. And if your thing that you're doing has multiple facets to it, like social media, then just do that to start with if you're new. And once you get going, you should have 2 to 3 sources for business. Your lead generation should come from a couple of different places, at least, in my opinion, so that if something happens with one of them, you've got backup. I love repeat referral business. It costs me nothing or next to nothing. I keep in touch with past clients. I'm out and about socializing with people in my community because I love that anyway. And that's how the business comes to us. 87% of our business last year was repeat referral and Sphere. I didn't have to pay for ads or leads through a website or anything like that. That works really well for me. For somebody who doesn't want to be out and about, who doesn't love handwriting notes and sending them in the mail, or care calling their past clients or people they know, that's not their jam. Maybe social media is their thing, but it's not just about picking something and sticking with it. Like, what does it even mean? Put a strategy together, make a plan. Okay, so this quarter, which is a reasonable amount of time to actually accomplish something without it being a full year, because y'all know you're just going to wait until October to even maybe start. So make it a quarter and then set up your goal and work backwards. So I'm going to try to contact this many people this quarter, this many people each month. What am I going to do? Maybe 1 month, it's a project goal, and I'm going to do a drawing on social media for some really cool ass prize. And I'm going to ask people to register to potentially win that prize. And maybe they have to answer a couple questions about real estate in order to do that. And then I just blast that like crazy for 2.5 weeks. And I do the drawing live and I get all this buzz about it. Maybe it's, for me, it was live video, and I still love doing this. I just do live tours on Facebook. I cannot tell you how many people I run into who I haven't seen in years. And they're like, I love your live tours, because who doesn't want to see the inside of a property, right? Everybody's nosy. HGTV exists for a reason. So I put my time into that, and it's super worth it. But I love doing it, and people can tell I love doing it. And that's why they want to work with me. So you got to do what lights you up and what's genuine. If you're forcing yourself to do something and you're kind of lost because you didn't take the time to make a plan, it's not going to work as well. People need to feel like not only are you doing what you love and you're just exuding that and they are attracted to it, they also need to feel like you know what you're doing as a business owner. And that means you have a plan and you are solid, in control, and not flying around like you don't know what's going on and you're just desperately grasping for business. They can smell that. They can see it. Yes. So you've got to have a plan and be in control.
100%.
There it is again. You have to be a business owner.
Yes. Yeah. This is not a hobby, people. This is a business.
I actually learned this very recently. It was a psychologist, and it was talking about, and it's so relevant to real estate. It was talking about overwhelm, and it was basically how the main cause for feeling overwhelmed is actually basically stuff on your schedule that you just really don't want to do.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not that you can't do it, right? It's that deep down in your gut, you really hate it. And you will put it off for weeks, months, sometimes years of doing certain things. And then you feel exhausted. Sometimes you're physically just done, because all you're thinking about all the time is, oh, I don't want to cold call. Like, I get it. I've tried giving Peter a phone before. Apart from him calling me, he doesn't do it. If I asked him a cold call, I don't think he'd do one this year. Right?
I've never cold called. Right. I feel that.
And a lot of people don't. It's £1,000. And yet our team leader, it's like his jam. He fucking loves it. He'll knock out.
Good for him. That's his thing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it works for him. But I tell you what, like, when it comes to he's very good. They did over 1,300 homes last year. So he is very good. But like the whole client, like smooching and whatnot after, doing all that, he can't stand it.
Yeah.
Hates it. So he's got a team, and he's like, you do it. He's cognizant enough that he doesn't like it. So he's put someone in place to do it. But he's like, no, I'll wake up in the morning, knock out 100, 150 cold calls, no problem, get some business rocked up, and then I'm off to start my day. And I'm like, fuck,
Great.
No.
Please don't make me do that.
Yeah. So this is the thing, and I love this. Do what works for you. Every strategy that people are listening to, you've thought of, it could be mailers, cold calling, door knocking, social media, organic socials, YouTube, referral business, database, events, just to name 10.
So many options.
All of them can make you multi-six figures a year.
Exactly.
Just doing one.
That's the beauty, right? What if there was one way to get business? All of us would be fighting over one way to do business.
Right.
No, it's a variety. There's so many ways to approach this business. That's what's so cool about it. Yep. And you can find your joy within real estate and just rock it out. And that's so awesome. So figure out what you love and do that, because especially now, consumers want to connect with people behind the product, with the people who are providing the service, and they want you to be real. They don't want this polished suit with a script who's memorize what they say and are very robotic. That is not a thing anymore. It's connecting with people in a real way. And especially when you're making such a huge investment, and if it's where you're going to live, that's a lot of emotion. You need to be able to connect with somebody and trust them, and they need to know you're being genuinely yourself. So if you're forcing yourself to cold call, they're going to be able to tell through the phone that you hate it and you're putting on a front, and there's no point in doing it. But how much more business can you do if you're just flying through what you love, like your team lead? And that's the beauty of it, is we can all find something that's going to work for us, and we're going to connect with our people through that. And
100%.
and everyone can make money and everyone can have business. It's just abundance. It's great.
One of the other things that people don't think about is that also the clientele don't go for each form either. So, for example, you could get a lead through door knocking, but they potentially aren't on social media. That sounds a bit crazy, but potentially they're not. They're just not they're not going to fill out a lead form from Facebook. We like paid ads. But the person who's on paid ads ain't never, ever picking up a cold call.
No.
Like, that's me. If I get a call from a number that's not on my phone, I just don't pick it up. Literally never. So you ain't never getting me from a cold call. But like a Facebook form, YouTube forms, filling out applications online, like I'm into that. Like I'll do that. And you can reach out and send me some more information. Like I like that because it's on my own terms. Like, and that fits me. So that's another thing. It's not only about you doing what you enjoy. You've got to also understand that you have your own niche of clientele as well, that is how they enjoyed being getting in touch with them. Oh, losing me words there. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't think about. They're there and they want to be contacted through that medium as well. So, that's another benefit.
So when you have to think about this and you have to think about real estate, it's like there's variety, right? Ultimately, there's variety in how you build your business. And if you even take it a step further in life, there's variety. Different cars. Typically, you will have different types of person driving a different type of vehicle, right? If you drive an electric vehicle versus you drive a gas guzzler, or you drive a truck, or you drive a sedan or a little sports car, it's a different type of person that's probably behind the wheel, Or, if you like McDonald's, or you like Burger King or Wendy's, or you like, I don't know, some 5-star fine dining restaurant, it's just different. Yeah. And it's okay for you to know what your acquired taste is and how you like to, quote unquote, dine or drive your car, aka how you build your business and service the people that are in that client. So don't go and have this FOMO, fear of missing out, that, oh my God, somebody else is getting a $500,000 buyer and you're slaying deals at $200,000. Sure, you're going to do a lot more deals. Yeah. Maybe you think the grass is on the greener, because the grass is greener on the other side. But you got this process dialed in where you can crank out 100, 200 deals at $200K, and you got your balance, you got your life, you're happy with the money. There's no reason to try to go and toss that whole thing up in order to get a $10 million listing where you don't have the clients, you don't have the knowledge, you don't know how to stage a property, you don't know how to market it correctly. So it's almost like find your lane, stay with it, know what the goal is, and work backwards from what you're saying, Amanda.
Yeah. And I would say too, keep an open mind, because when I moved over to Keller Williams from my other broker, I definitely had imposter syndrome. And I was like, I'm making $50,000 a year. This is more than I've ever made. This is great and fine. And I'm good. And I'm not going to build a team, and I'm just going to hang out in this lane. And as more people connected with me who wanted me to help them, I realized that there was more to this for me. And I'm glad I kept an open mind about it. And, you just never know. I had someone find me online last year and bought a $1.4 million home. And for Milwaukee, that's pretty high. My average sale price is around 300. So I wasn't looking for that business, but I was putting it out there in a genuine way. And she found me, and she saw my stuff on social media, and she saw my reviews, and we had a lovely interaction. And she bought that house through a video call. The first time they saw the home was when they came for closing. So me being genuine and following my heart and my true why, and just doing what lights me up brings me those people. So maybe she's not a Corvette person, because she's not, but she's in that kind of lifestyle because of who she's married to. And she was attracted to working with me because I'm operating at my highest, what brings me the most joy. And that just brings me people who I love working with. It's so cool. You attract your people. The more you're in your groove, the more that happens. And maybe it doesn't mean the type of business you're doing is putting you into one lane. At least here, I'm working across the board in price points, locations. We're in 5 counties, all different backgrounds of folks that we're working with, single people, couples, families. But at the end of the day, these people share similar values to us as a team.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great. I am rarely working with somebody who sucks my energy. And I am trying really hard to get that energy draining stuff off my to-do list and have other people take care of it. Because what kind of life is it if you're checking your to-do list every day and pushing this thing off and pushing it off? And I've been there and I find myself doing it sometimes. And I think people need to understand that none of us do this perfectly all the time. We all make mistakes. We all fall off course. And you need things like this podcast to remind you what you're supposed to be doing or how to best make use of your time and energy. So it's never perfect. And I think especially when you're new, that's the impression, right? These high producing agents, they're up on this shiny pedestal. They're perfect. They do everything right. They have every advantage. And that's just not true. I've been grinding it out. I've figured out how to leverage and have a great team. I've made mistakes. I've fallen off course. I, get back on, and it's about trying to be consistent and just pushing to be that someday person.
See, one of the things that you touch on is that you don't have to be perfect. We had actually another guest on too, and he has the oh shit fund for when his team or he fucks up every single year, where it's like, they set an X amount of money aside because it's not a matter of if things go wrong. It's a matter of when things go wrong. And the faster you accept that, the better you're going to prepare for it. So every single conversation that I have with my clients or my potential clients, my future, my past clients, I literally had an oh shit moment literally right before this podcast. One of my past clients that we closed on a property about 2 months ago just texted me and said, oh shit, we just ripped up the floor and there is some foundational problems in the house. Ugh. And I'm like, oh shit, that is not something that would have came up in the inspection. So let's see what can be done, right? And ultimately where I'm going with this is you're operating from a little bit of a different place. And I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. I know Andrew is, could care less. But what you're really speaking to is achievement versus fulfillment. So now that you're in your mission, your purpose, you're able to serve people deeper because ultimately you're happier because your basic needs are satisfied, right? Yes. You have the income, which then allows you to remove yourself from the outcome and not be so tied to it emotionally, where you can pour into your team because that gives you the fulfillment. This is why, I used to work a corporate job back in my old days, absolutely hated it. I was one of the best at what I did, like top 5% in my class, in my region, but I still fucking hated it. Like legitimately, I dreaded doing it, even though I was really, really good at it because I didn't have the fulfillment.
Right.
Then I got this crazy idea to start our own business. I then get into real estate, which was crazier, and then we had this crazy idea to start the podcast. And here we are. Because the mission and the purpose is different, not only the achievement, but the fulfillment and what we can do. So when we can set those expectations the right way and we can accept that things are going to go wrong, just a matter of when, just be prepared for it. You may not know what it is. You may not see it coming, but know it's coming in different shapes and forms that will appear in your life.
Well, and I think it's that magic combination, right? It's doing what feels right, what your heart guides you to do, but also being mindful of a goal, tracking those numbers. Like I don't live for the numbers, but I like to see where we're at. I like to know where I'm going. And when I have that clearly in my mind, I don't have to obsess about transaction, commissions. And I don't have to obsess about how I desperately need to get 3 more buyers right now. I don't have to worry about that because I'm tracking it. I know we're on course. I know what that feels like, and then I can focus on the stuff that brings me joy and is me better serving our clients. If you have that magic combination, then business will happen.
Oh, and by the way, if you're listening to this and you aren't making at least $100,000 per year in GCI and you're looking for a predictable system to get you there, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.